is rough country, no mistake. But so far, we've seen no sign of trouble.
But the moors stretch on for many leagues. It would be easy to miss something in these rugged crags and valleys.
Let us continue the search, but be wary. More than one ranger has been lost in these wild lands.
Foul creatures!
Greetings, my friends. I could scarce believe what I saw from above. But elf, dwarf, and man battling the enemy together, such things are not often seen. I knew it had to be you.
Balaram, it is good to see you. I never thought we would meet again so soon.
Nor did I. It does seem a strange coincidence, but a happy one, nonetheless.
You really took care of that troll. I'm glad you're on our side.
It is not the first time I have had to contend with troll kind. Yet we have accounted for but a few leaves in a forest of foes. Orcs and trolls are gathering in great numbers to follow in the wake of Bar-Grisar, a treacherous stone giant. The foul folk respect his strength, and this unites them, to our peril.
A stone giant? I've heard of them, but I rather hope the stories were just that. Stories.
Giants are real enough. From what I have been told, they dwell only in the highest mountain vales and keep mostly to themselves. I've never heard they were hostile to our kind.
They seldom are. Eagles and the stone giants have shared the mountain heights without conflict for many generations. But this giant, Bar-Grisar, is different. Without provocation, he ambushed some of our people, taking them unaware and striking them down with hurled boulders. Many of our areas he also destroyed, along with the defenseless fledglings who nested there. Gwaihir summoned his strength to punish the giant, but he fled before us. We believe he has come here to the Ettenmoors, where he is gathering an army of orcs and trolls. Bargrassar is a threat to all. The sooner he is destroyed, the safer we shall be.
Any chance there will be more than one giant to deal with?
I do not believe so, for we have learned Bargrassar is an outcast among his own kind. They disowned him for past crimes, and will offer him no protection from our vengeance.
Gandalf the Grey told us he traveled in the Ettenmoors without any trouble only a few weeks ago. But look at it now. Enemies are thicker than fleas on a warg's hide around here.
These moors are always dangerous, a breeding ground for trolls and orcs. But even here, it is unusual to see so many enemies openly assembling. The presence of Bargrassar makes them bold. They believe he will lead them to the bloodshed and plunder they crave. And it may well be, unless the giant is destroyed.
You and your kin live in the Ettenmoors.
No, we keep our areas atop the high peaks of the nearby Misty Mountains. We have come to the Ettenmoors in pursuit of Bargrassar.
You're scouting, huh? Does that mean there are more eagles nearby?
My lord Gwaihir is gathering his strength. There will soon be many of my kind in the Ettenmoors. We must destroy Bargrassar. The sooner the better.
An enemy of yours is an enemy of ours. We'll join with you in the hunt for this giant.
Your aid would be most welcome. Together we may be able to best him. Every hour he lives, his following grows greater. Let us press on!
Enemy archers! On the high ground!
I'm out!
It is finished. My people are avenged.
And behold, here come your kin.
My lord.
It would appear that you have done our work for us, Balaram.
Not I, Lord Gwaihir. Your thanks belong to these three. Andriel, Farin, and Aradan. It is they who rid us of Baghrasar.
The same three that saved you at Fornost.
Indeed. A remarkable chance that we should meet again.
If chance it was. Your fates seem strangely intertwined. But be that as it may, we are doubly grateful to you. First for saving the life of Balaram, and now for slaying the giant.
Happy to have helped, but we're looking for a servant of the Dark Lord. A man called Agandaur. Have you seen any sign of him?
Balaram has told us of that one, but we do not know where he can be found.
Elrond Half-Elven sent us. He had a feeling the enemy might be gathering here.
I will not question the wisdom of Master Elrond. He sees much that is hidden from others. Yet I fear you have come too late to find Agandaur. We have searched the Ettenmoors thoroughly in our hunt for Bargazar, yet we have seen no sign of this servant of the Dark Lord. If he was here, we can be reasonably certain he is here no longer. My people will work to disperse the enemy forces that remain in the moors. We will be on guard against the return of Agandaur.
Then we should return to Elrond at Rivendell. He will be anxious for news, and we have already been long away.
I will arrange for a messenger.
My lord, I owe my life to these three. And I too believe Agandaur to be a grave threat to the free peoples of the North. Eagles no less so than any other. If you would grant me leave, I wish to accompany them and aid them in their quest.
You ask a great deal, Balaram. I may have need for all my followers soon. Yet I perceive a great destiny awaits these three, and it seems you are now part of it. Very well. I will grant you permission to join with them for as long as you see fit.
Unless Balaram plans to carry his friends like sheep in his talons, he will need help. If it pleases you, my lord, I will gladly accompany them as well.
I too have a stake in this quest. Let me be the third.
So be it. 3 who cleave the air to match 3 who walk the earth. May fortune favor you all. Arminel, Barenthor, you shall be at Balaram's command. Obey his word until such time as you return to us. Now I must depart. Many forces are at work across Middle-earth, and many events take shape. I must consider what part the Eagles will play in them.
You've been a great help, as the Eagles so often are. Thanks and farewell.
You return at last. We grew concerned for you. I fear you have missed your chance to say farewell to the members of the Fellowship, for they have departed. Clearly you found danger in the Ettenmoors, yet you have returned safely, and in the company of 3 of the Great Eagles, no less. There is a story behind this, and I am eager to hear it.
They're gone. When did they leave?
They have only just departed. Did you discover something in the Ettenmoors that makes you fear for their safety?
We found trolls and orcs preparing for war, just as we had feared. And they were led by a renegade stone giant.
He made war on the Great Eagles.
But with the help of the eagle Balaram, we were able to slay him.
That was well done, but this is troubling. Why would a stone giant act in this manner? They have never been hostile to free folk before.
We took these tokens from some of our fallen foes.
Some of them bear the Black Raven emblem of Agandaur.
Then we can be certain he is behind the giant's descent into evil. But there are also other tokens here I recognize. These are the marks of the orcs of Mount Gundabad, far to the north.
Mount Gundabad? What do you know of that place?
It is a great peak that stands far to the north, at the meeting point of the Misty Mountains and the Grey Mountains. Once, Gundabad was a delving of the dwarves, but it was abandoned long ago. It has since become a stronghold of the orcs. It would be hard-pressed to find a more dangerous location in all the north.
Maybe Agandaur is hiding out there, at Gundabad.
It may well be. From Mount Gundabad, the orcs have many tunnels and secret pathways connecting the hidden mines and orc holes of the Misty Mountains. The orcs can move along those routes in great numbers without being seen. If Agandaur is raising an army to fight for his master in the north, it is certain he will have traveled to Gundabad. The evidence you have uncovered confirms this to be so. Yet we have no way of knowing if he is there still.
Perhaps not. But we must know one way or another. We cannot sit idle waiting for him to begin the war on his terms.
To walk into such an orc-infested pit as Mount Gundabad would seem like folly. But you have proven your skill and daring many times over. And too, you have the eagles to aid you. It may be that you will find a way to take the enemy by surprise. It is certain that, were you to destroy Agandaur, you would cut the heart from Sauron's plan to make war in the north.
Agandaur is building up a lot of force. I'll wager Rivendell will be his first target. Maybe you will have need of us here.
If you cut the head from a serpent, the body dies thrashing. It may still do great harm in its death throes, yet it will die. Your mission may well be our best hope. Destroy Agandaur and you will cut the head from the serpent that threatens the north.
But what about Frodo? Maybe we'd be better off doing something to help him on his quest.
That die is cast. We must abide the consequences, for good or ill. There is nothing more we here can do but to look to our own defense.
What will you do?
We will continue to plan for the defense of Imladris. The enemy will not find us unprepared. I will send warnings to such allies as we have. There is strength to be found in Imladris still, but in truth, you three may be our best hope.
Oh, well, then, since you put it that way, I guess we best be about it. We're off to Mount Gundabad.
Your courage is commendable, but be certain you are well prepared. Mount Gundabad will not be forgiving of the unwary. Farewell, and may the stars shine upon your path. Is there something I can help?
It's about Mount Gundabad. The place has an evil reputation.
I fear there is little I can tell you that you would not already know. You are aware that Gundabad was originally a great mansion of your kin, but is now a haven for orcs and other foul things.
I know the history of Gundabad well enough. In a way, I've even been part of it.
Certainly you are too young to have been there when your people sacked Gundabad during the War of the Dwarves and Orcs. Ah, but I forget Bolg and the Battle of 5 Armies.
Bolg was the chieftain who led the orcs and wargs against us at the Battle of 5 Armies. But he met his death there, and good riddance, I say.
It would seem no orc of Gundabad has been strong enough to lead such an army since. It would be a simple matter for Agandaur to gain their allegiance.
You know of our great war?
Only your people know the full story of that war. But enough word has come to me to know it began over 200 years ago, when your King Thror attempted to return to his ancestral home of Moria, only to be slain by the Orc King Aesog.
Aesog. Curse his foul name.
But you had your revenge.
Aye. Dwarves gathered from all across Middle-earth to make war upon the orcs of the Misty Mountains.
And after 9 years of bitter war, Aesog was slain by your lord, Dane Ironfoot.
Quite a deed it was, too. Him being just a stripling at the time.
So at last you had your revenge, but the cost was great.
Many of the orcs we fought in the Battle of 5 Armies came from Gundabad. There there were a lot fewer returned than left, I can tell you.
Yes, but many years have passed, and the orcs are ever quick to multiply. Gundabad is certain to be teeming with their kind once more. You must keep your wits about you as you search for Agandal.
Well, Mount Gundabad awaits. Farewell, Master Elrond.
It is a fine day for flying, don't you think?
Would you be one of the eagles that carried Bilbo and the dwarves to safety during their quest?
I haven't met Bilbo, though I've heard much about him. My father was one of those who carried a dwarf, and later fought in the Battle of 5 Armies. I was considered too young and inexperienced to take part in the battle. I have much to do if I'm to match my father's fame and valor.
What can you tell me about Mount Gundabad?
I've never been there, but I know it's a high peak that lies far to the north, on the edge of the frozen wastes, and that it has long been infested with orcs. We do not nest there. When the north wind blows across the wastes, it racks the mountain with blizzards, driven by fierce gales. But I will not be daunted by the north wind.
Gundabad awaits us.
It's a fine thing your friends have done, offering to help us at all. But do you think they really know what they've gotten themselves into? What can you tell me about them?
Armanel is a seasoned warrior. He knows full well what he faces. But you need not take my word. Ask them.
What'll be waiting for us at Mount Gundabad?
I can tell you little. The stronghold of Gundabad is carved into a great mountain peak covered in snow and ice. We rarely fly that far north because of the treacherous winds and blizzards that howl from the frozen wastes beyond. It is an ancient abode of enemies, and we must approach it with the greatest caution.
Maybe we've bitten off more than we can chew. What chance do you think we have?
3 alone cannot hope to stand against all the orcs of Gundabad. Only stealth will serve you. We must search out a secret way that will not pit you directly against your foes. Stir up a hornet's nest such as you cannot imagine. I have seen you 3 triumph against desperate odds. If you cannot find a way, then no one can. My companions and I will be there to help as best we may, but once you enter the confines of Gundabad, there will be little that we can do.
We'll keep that in mind.